Hello, everybody. This is Ike from Keadworks, your favorite creative marketing and technology company. Today, we are interviewing Becky Lee of Becky's Fund, a nonprofit based out of the Washington, D.C. area. Open the floor. Becky Lee, introduce yourself and introduce Becky's Fund to us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Becky Lee, and I'm the founder and executive director of Becky's Fund, a national nonprofit organization focused on domestic violence prevention and education. I started the nonprofit in 2006 after coming in third on the show Survivor. I had been working on the issue of domestic violence for over 15 years now, both as an advocate and then as a lawyer. And I received a great opportunity after coming in third to use that money and put it to a good purpose. So I took part of the funds from coming in third and started Becky's Fund. And then in 2007, I received nonprofit status and then was able to actually put on my first fundraiser at Gold Cup in May of 2007.
Oh, wow. Pretty impressive. So yeah, let's get straight to it. When did Becky's Fund start using the internet, social media to start marketing Becky's Fund, and how have you progressed from how you started it before to today, how you've made it so streamlined all over the internet?
Sure. I think that many nonprofits in general, if you go to their website, which most people normally, when they go to hear about what a nonprofit is working on, what their mission is, what their events, they typically first go to their website. So it's very disheartening, and it saddens me to see that the majority of nonprofits spend the least amount of money on their website, on social media, on ways of outreach, because that often is where people go to first. And if that's your first impression, and I go to a website that it looks like it hasn't been updated in years, it really tells me that, well, maybe they don't understand the needs of their audience. So I think that from the very start, even whenever you don't have a lot of funds, it's very important to have a strong face, show a strong face to the public. Specifically since many organizations obviously are in one city, have chapters all over the country. So a strong website and internet ability to be able to reach out to people from all over the world is really crucial. So when I started Becky's Fund in 2006, the first thing I worked on was creating a website that was colorful, active, had both blogs and articles and research on it. But at the same time, we updated as often as possible with our events to really make the audience feel that when they're coming to the site, we are, side by side with them, staying involved, keeping the lines of communication open to talk about domestic and dating violence. It wasn't really until the last probably 2 years that I started really focusing more so on creating a collective and really streamlined effort on managing both, Twitter, Facebook, even with LinkedIn and Foursquare with a website, but really having everything connected. So it was much easier to be able to reach out to your audience all at one time. And everyone's different. If they update their Facebook once a week or every day. But keeping the message of all the things that we're doing, that we're working on, the statistics, the news, all that everyone who's going to these different sites is seeing the same message. But I think it's also crucial to note that often nonprofits in general, because they think that they're not going to spend money on this free marketing kind of approach, they make the mistake of thinking that the value of marketing through this outreach is always low priority on their lists, when it really should be really at the top of the list. Because I think that you have to match the needs of your audience. If your audience is using social media, if your audience is using technology, which of course we all are, you have to match that, and you have to keep with the trend of what your audience is using to educate, to learn more about different issues. So that's why, when I met Ike at a fundraiser, actually, at Public, over a year ago, and he introduced to me just his ideas about creativity, but also engaging the audience, not just people that we already know, but how do we get new people to come to your site? How do you get new customers, new clients to want to learn, and how to engage them, and really using very creative branding techniques, marketing techniques, with all these different methods, really utilizing the capacity and power of social media.
Well, that's a lot of great information. Thanks for the credit note. Thanks for the shout out, by the way. Yes, I am the actor we're talking about. But okay, back to Becky Lee. So basically, in a nutshell, what you're telling people is that they should have a website that is interactive, a website that continuously is updated with stuff that you guys are doing. And that
Yes.
stuff, whether it's events, whether it's articles, these are things that should also be able to spread out to other social networks in a streamlined pattern. And they should be maintaining consistency across all these social networks. That's what you're basically saying you're doing now compared to before. And that's what you think nonprofits should start making a priority on your list.
And also at the same time, we have to be realistic. Time is money. And I have to be, even though I'm very hands-on and I like to micromanage and I like to know exactly what everyone's working on, and, even when we have teams that I delegate, I make sure that, things to speed, we have our deadlines met. The one issue that with social media is that it's constant. So it's difficult to always be on top of things and update as soon as you get the information. And so when I first met Ike and I thought, oh, well, I don't really need help with social media, I can't be working on programs and fundraising, writing grants and meeting, donors and sponsors and, and survivors, clients that we're working with, all while being able to update all the time. And so it's been crucial to create this collective, very streamlined method of outreach, but at the same time be able to work with somebody to do it.
All right, that's fine. So you're basically telling people that they need to have professional help. They need to have an outside party in most cases handle that whole aspect of social marketing, quote unquote, instead of them trying to add that to their list of tasks.
I think it's important to note the impact of having an organized social media marketing approach. And I think that it's important to note that it's not something you can just do once in a while. If you start it, you have to maintain it. But at the same time, while you put the energy and the effort to do so, the effects and the results, the fundraising dollars, the PR, the exposure, being able to have your nonprofit pop up top, when you do an internet search, those are all things that might seem not as crucial when you think about it in terms of your business strategy and plan, but they really are important because if that's what people are Googling, and they are using the Google to, when they find, resources out there under whatever your topical area is. If you are coming up on that first page, you're already in the ballpark of, maximizing your exposure to help people and get new people to your site and to your business.
That sounds good. Very briefly, what are the major differences between Becky's Fund now and a lot of other nonprofit organizations in the region?
I really think social media has played a big part in helping Becky's Fund accelerate and really maximize what we work with on a daily basis to have people really joining on. I think people have asked in the past, is there more domestic violence happening? You seem like you're much more busier than before. I think it goes both ways. Obviously, with the economy now, more people are getting in an argument and people are fighting about money. But at the same time, on the flip side, if more people are reaching out, that means people are learning about you, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through referral, whether it's through our events and a posting on BizNow or in a magazine or online. So I think it shows that you're able to work with very little, but at the same time, on the outside looking in, it really looks like we can maximize so much more through the use of the internet and through the use of social media.
So basically, the social media factor, the social marketing campaign that Becky's Fund implements is one of the major differences between you and other nonprofits in the area that are focusing on the same initiative.
I definitely think so. It's other organizations who have actually reached out to me asking for input on, how to get that presence out there, how to get more hits on, when you're able to search online. And even though these things might seem small in the big picture of things, at the end of the day, if someone Googles you, they want to see that coming to your site, that you're getting a lot of traffic. Be able to show up, on that first page on Google, it really demonstrates that we are active. We are, helping others, but at the same time, people are coming to us. It gives credibility. It also allows us to be able to work with more donors, because then donors also see and sponsors see, they really are doing a lot of work where people are visiting their site a lot. So I think it all, in the big picture of things, it really elevates our status, even though we're maybe only 5 years old compared to these 10, 15, 20-year-old nonprofits.
Exactly. That sounds brilliant. That's a real good strategy right there. So all nonprofits out there, take that lesson from Becky Lee and understand that you need to build a very, very streamlined social marketing campaign and have professionals handle it instead of trying to add it to your current, tasks of management. Instead of that, what you could do is just get professional help, get a company or get a team that will handle and focus your social marketing and make everything all consistent across your brand. So that way you could actually be sending out your messaging, engaging people much better. Okay, Becky, now for the special part of our interview, there is a rumor out there going on that Becky's Fund was started because you were in a domestic violence scenario, like maybe you were hit or something. And I just wanted to make sure that we use this video to clarify that pertains to Becky's Fund's history. Because I too was wondering, how would a woman just go on Survivor and just take her money and just start a fund like this? It sounds all great, but I wanted to know if that rumor is actually true, because I've heard that rumor from multiple people. And I just wanted you to clear the airwaves now that you're on video. So please let everybody know whether that's true or not.
Sorry. I know it's a common question people ask. People always ask, why are you so passionate? I've been speaking all over the country, over the past 5 years, college students, people in different conferences, workshops, and people want that sort of understanding why you're so committed. And to be honest with you, I've never been in an abusive relationship, but when I was a junior at University of Michigan, I was in a class called Women in Prison. And this attorney came into my class speaking about defending battered women who were abused, who were in prison for killing their husbands and their partners in self-defense. And the shocking statistic that 1 in 3 women in the United States, has been abused or will be abused in their life. It just shocked me that no one was talking about it. We always talk about it when someone has died, and then we say, oh, so sad, too bad, we should have seen the signs. A should have, could have situation. When in reality, domestic violence, dating violence can be prevented by noticing the warning signs, helping somebody get those resources, get the outreach. And so in seeing that, I also realized how much shame is involved when you go through this, and how often victims are blamed for the situation, even though this is something that's happening to them, not them causing the issue. And so I really realized that often people who haven't been affected by this issue have the freedom and the confidence to be able to go about it. So after meeting that woman when I was junior at Michigan, I went up to her and asked her if I could intern with her working on these cases in front of judges. And basically after working with her that summer, and my senior year, I went straight, I had to go to law school to work for abused women and children. And ever since, I haven't looked back. And then obviously with the, first Survivor, a casting agent reached out to me, seeing that I was pretty aggressive and looked at my profile on MySpace, and I, kickboxer and have a little bit of temper. But seeing all these different things that would make good for TV, she asked me to try out for this show. And I thought, what a great way to use media, because people always use the show then to do something in the future. They use that media soapbox to talk about domestic violence and dating violence, and then catapult that, obviously, after coming in third, into a nonprofit. And I've been really lucky and very grateful for all the support and opportunities I've received. But really, every time I talk to somebody or a crowd or, in a conference, somebody comes up to me and says, thank you for telling me, thank you for talking to us. You helped me realize I'm not alone. And that's my whole concept of just, using that platform of speaking out about it. It's such a common issue that's happening in our community, but until we take away that stigma, people still are very afraid to come forward to get help. So that's why I continue to do it today, because I'm able to. No one judges me, no one blames me. I don't have any children. That often people say, well, why do you go forward and fight this case? It's going to hurt your children and make them upset and make it really ugly divorce battle. But all those things set aside, I know that the power of my voice allows many others to come forward and get help.
Oh, wow. So, well, you guys got that today. Becky Lee was not beaten. Becky Lee was not in an abusive relationship. And I definitely will be contacting Becky Lee if I ever get in any abusive situation, if any friend of mine hits me or anybody, makes me feel sad about myself, I definitely would know who to call. And also, if you want to get on Survivor, she's also told you the quickest way to do it is to be passionate about something, and maybe they will call you. So I will continue being passionate about what I do, and hopefully someday I will be on Survivor myself. And probably start my own nonprofit after that. So, What are the future plans for Becky's Fund? Like, any exciting things coming up? Exciting events, fundraisers, future stuff that is going to shock and change the game of the nonprofit? Tell us anything that you're doing that you know is going to be different, that's going to really stand out real quick.
Sure. We have our normal events coming up, our happy hours. We have a shopping event at Neiman Marcus happening next Thursday. Bigger picture, we have some, so on March 24th, which is a Thursday, there'll be a shoe and bag event at Neiman Marcus, a small event then. But we also have, since we do focus on youth prevention of violence, we are working with the Girl Scouts and have our first Girl Scout workshop of this year on April 23rd at Howard University. And then in May, we have Gold Cup, which is, our 5th annual event. This was our first fundraiser in 2007. And basically over 500 people getting together, dressing up in seersucker and pretty clothes and hats to watch the horse race.
Okay.
And then we have in June 19th, we have Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. We're doing the first march in D.C. ever, an international march where we have men standing up against domestic violence and walking in women's shoes, for a mile. So we're excited about that. Yes. And then we have our baseball game, National Domestic Violence Awareness Day at the Park, which will be at Nats Park on the July 4th weekend.
Okay.
And then we have our August 6th, we have our first poker tournament, a Texas Hold'em game. Basically, we're trying to do this poker tournament in D.C. at the Washington Design Center. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, in October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we'll be having our 3rd annual Walk This Way charity fashion show, where we have, professional athletes, standing up publicly against domestic violence, both basically walking the fashion show to support the issue.
Oh, wow, that's pretty good. There's some rumor in the airwaves about a mobile application that Becky's Fund is trying to drop on us. You want to just quickly say a few things about that? You can keep what you want to keep back as a secret, but we're just saying what we're picking up out there. So let people know about it.
Sure. For the last year, we applied to Pepsi. We didn't make it, but we really got a lot of just outreach out there, education about the use and the capacity that mobile technology can offer. We're seeing, even for texting to Haiti, texting to Japan, the power that you can, you create, the reach that you can have with your cell phone. Along the same way, we are working on getting funding to create the first ever domestic violence phone application. Some of the features would include a camera in the app where you can take a picture of your bruise or a friend's bruise, family member's bruise, jot down notes about the incident, because often what happens is victims do not go to the police or call 911 until it's the 4th or 5th or a very fatal accident. And then to prove to the judge or to the police that this is not the first time, they don't have record of that. We would be able to note that in the phone, but also have a separate database to keep the information confidential. We also are looking to create a feature where you can enter in a zip code and then it would pull up through GPS the closest shelter, advocate, attorney, even hospital. Another thing we want to have on the phone is a panic button where you'd be able to enter in contacts, and if you were, say, a victim in a closet, you're running away from your abuser and you couldn't speak on the phone because you didn't want your abuser to find you, you'd be able to press the panic button. It would send a GPS signal to, say, the closest police station, along with your mother, your friend, noting your location, but also a note saying, I need help now. So again, these are all ways I think that we've seen a lot of phone apps out there that, one phone app where you can listen to a song and know what the song's name is, but really utilizing the power of technology today to help save people's lives.
Oh, wow, really impressive. So there you have it, guys. We have a nonprofit that focuses on the initiative of domestic violence out in Washington, D.C., and they utilize social media in a streamlined, consistent effort across the board. Make sure their website is definitely a place you would want to visit every single day. All their social networks.
www.beckysfund.org.
Becky, don't worry. We'll give you the promo at the end of the video. Don't worry about that. I'll tell everybody everything at the end of the video. Yeah, our website is www.beckysfund, BECKYSFUND, beckysfund.org, not .com, .org. And you can also find them on Facebook, facebook.com/Becky's Fund, BECKYSFUND, Becky's Fund. And on Twitter, it's actually twitter.com/NDV, as in end domestic violence. And it could also be twitter.com/Becky's Fund as well, but they've moved to NDV, so that's another one of the URLs. And you can just stay close to them, stay close to the updates. They always have something that pops up every single day, literally almost every 2 hours. There's something that they push out there on the internet. So if you want to stay consistent with your news, if you want to stay consistent with your updates, know what events are coming up, buy your tickets early because your events always sell out, usually. Becky, is that true? Yeah, most of your events usually sell out. Yeah. So I have to go now and start going through my list and making sure I buy all my tickets for the year. So go out there, get your tickets for all Becky's Fun events, and support domestic violence. You know, there's a lot of women out there. You said 1 in 3 women are going through.
No, we want to support anti-domestic violence.
Okay, anti-domestic. Well, let's support the whole initiative, both. It's just a really sad situation going on in the world, and we have to stop this. And congratulations, and like, I lift my hat off to you for all you've done all these years and your intense passion about this problem. Because it's definitely a problem that's been ignored, and let's make it happen. So utilize social media the best way you can and implement creative strategies. Becky is now talking about a new mobile app that's going to change the world of domestic violence, basically, with so many cool features. So we cannot wait to see that. And she utilized a lot of events and colorful scenarios to bring light into the problem. So as a nonprofit out there, I hope you've learned a lot from this video. And Becky, what would you like to give out as tips to anyone that wants to start their own nonprofit besides trying to go on Survivor?
I think that people often think when you're trying to do good, you're trying to create a nonprofit to help the poor, the needy, the disadvantaged. They don't realize that you need a plan. Just because you're a nonprofit, people are not just going to donate to you if you don't have a plan. First, I recommend getting your 501c3 status as soon as possible so that people's donations can be tax deductible. Second, I think that's really important to have a strategy plan. People think, oh, it's a nonprofit, I don't need a business plan. No, you actually do. When I first started my nonprofit and I was working with a mentor, one of the first questions he asked me was, what is your exit strategy? And I'm like, exit strategy? I haven't even started to fundraise and not even year one of the nonprofit. But you really need to have goals, set goals such as what's going to happen in month 6, month 8, month 12. Also knowing that after year 1, where do you see the organization going, and having those mile markers. And then also having people who keep you accountable to those mile markers, such as your board, such as your mentors that you work with. There's no shame in asking for help. There's no shame in hiring help. But it's also learning about what you're good at and what you're not good at, and then knowing how to ask for help of things that you're not good at. Because none of us can be good at everything. And it's really knowing how to utilize your time the best way by working on what you are good at, but then asking people on those issues that you need help with.
Well, there you get it, guys. Number 1, make sure you get a business plan. I thought a business plan was only for ventures that make money. But clearly, a business plan is needed when you are a nonprofit as well. Number 2, do not be ashamed of asking for mentors or asking for help, getting professional help. Don't be worried about that. You have to have a nice exit strategy. You have to plan periodically. Well, those are real important tips. So, any last words, Becky, before we end the interview today?
It was a pleasure to speak with you, and I'm very excited to share what I've learned and what I've gone through. I think that a lot of times nonprofits don't share, they don't collaborate, and I think that we are all, working to improve and help people in our community, and so we can all learn from each other, and I think that's very important to be collaborative.
That's good, because I've learned a lot today. I've learned about who I need to call if somebody hits me outside, and I've learned how to get on Survivor, because I've been wondering why they've been rejecting my requests. Anyway, guys, that's about it, and just stay close to our website, Keadworks.com. Stay close to our YouTube channel, Facebook. We're on Facebook as well, Keadworks, Twitter, Keadworks, and we'll keep bringing on as many interviews to you with people that are doing things in the area, people that are making change, people that are very creative in their own way, whether it's a nonprofit or whether it's a small or medium-sized business. And we'll catch you back next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.